Mr. Fern, I'd like to look like Mount Vesuvius. I'd like to do an impression of a weather-changing machine, and for that I need a mechanical mod, but I don't have a Scooby-Doo. I'm here to help you. How do you do, folks? My name is Rob from Steve House, and a question I get asked quite often is, I want to get into mechanicals. Not too sure if I'm going to like it or not. I mean, this question gets asked in many ways, shapes or forms, but basically the gist of it is, Rob, what do I need as a starter kit? What should I be looking to get, and how to do it as cheaply as possible sometimes. So I've run through a couple of things you are going to have to absolutely must have, suggestions from myself, and then a couple that you might want to avoid, which could not lead to problems, but they're a slightly more advanced kind of gig. So when it comes down to your choice of mechanical mods, I'd go for a kit that includes a separate yes, RDA or dripper and a body. All usually comes in one box. You know, you get the top, you get the bottom, you get all the goodies in between, and hey presto, life is good. Yes. So we're firing away there. Now this one here, they all come with separate drippers, etc. You could get something like a limitless kit, which has your body. This one comes with the RDTA, but you know, same kind of deal. Again, oh, there go the batteries. You know, just a nice box kit. Just make sure you're getting the dripper and the actual mod itself. A few I'd avoid if you're having a look, and obviously it's got a built-in dripper like the Candy that you can't actually test on an ohm reader. Not exactly bestest for beginners. And then again, something like the Roughneck, which would require a specialist adapter for you to check the resistance of your coils. So maybe not best for your first round, but once you've kind of gotten into things a little bit more, then by all means take the plunge. So yeah, mods or mod choice is quite a bit, you know, well, it's quite varied, but nowadays it's almost less complicated. It's more of an aesthetics thing. What do you want it to look like versus kind of, you know, performance? Because let's face it, a mechanical mod, there's no doodads, no buzzing, singing, all whizzing, wandering chips inside. No, it's just a battery and a tube, and the bottom hits the bottom of the battery, and hey presto, the circuit is complete and the magic happens. So now, how do I guarantee that my mod hits as hard as that? Well, firstly, to get this thing kicking off like a mule on steroids, you're going to need a decent engine. Decent engine in mod terms comes down to batteries. Okay, don't be expecting like huge amounts of battery life either. Your batteries are going to drain pretty quickly because no doubt you're going to follow on suit with everybody else and start dropping the resistance. And once you drop the resistance, the battery discharges hella quick and you're charging them all the time. Charging them in your RX and then just borrowing one from the back is not going to happen, folks. Get a new pair. Now, personal use, therefore personal choice, Samsung 25Rs and LG HE4s. My all-day use, all-day carry, you know, just never had a problem with them. An external charger of some form. This is a Nightcore IntelliCharger. Cheap as chips. Slightly more expensive with a few more bells and whistles. There's a slightly dirty D4 DigiCharger. 4-bay charger. You can go all the way up to eFest or Soda or something. 6-bay, etc. But no need for that just yet. Now, if you've come over from regulated mods and you've got a pretty, I'm not going to say high-end, but a decent spec mod, you're not going to need an ohm reader because you can use your device. Yeah, you can use whatever you're vaping on to check the resistance of your coils, which is why I said not to buy anything like inbuilt or one that needs a special adapter, because that way you can use your mod to check the resistance. You're going to be making coils, obviously. As per usual, there's always two in the bag with a little blue screwdriver. You could fire those in to start with, but you're going to need some wire clippers and stuff like that, unless you want to go down the road of pre-built You can pick up a pack of all sorts of fantastically swishy coils. There's a load of guys online that would make even more swishy coils for you. You know, really specialist stuff that you could just drop in yourself. So if you want to go down that route, you can. But basics, you know, apart from me sitting here trying to teach you Ohm's law and stuff like that, as to what you need, it comes down to a little bit of personal choice. What do you want the mod to look like? Do you like the look of it? You know, like I say, in terms of how hard it's going to hit, well, that all depends on you being the person who builds the coil, because you're building the coil. That means you're controlling the kind of vapor output that this thing has. Put in a whack coil, put in a whack battery, you're looking at whack results. Decent battery, decent coils, and hey presto, Fog Mountain. Woo-wee. Now, a couple of useful places to go and visit as well. The steam engine. Search it as steam engine vape, because that way you always get the right results on Google. The steam engine has a load of useful little bits and pieces. It's got an Ohm's law calculator. It's got drop down menus with presets in for batteries, so you can check whether or not the build that you're putting in is going to be fine with the battery that you're using. It'll also give you an estimated battery life. It'll tell you how many pulls you're going to get, assuming that you use the calculated like 5-second pull. You know, you're roughly going to get XYZ amount, and then obviously estimated battery life. Say like, look, this is going to last for 20 minutes, this is going to last for 15. Put that super sub-ohm, you know, 000 watts on there that might just blow your face off kind of build, and you get 3 pulls and the battery life is 30 seconds. But hey, that's just swings and roundabouts. Like I say, the biggest thing is obviously just, you know, if you want to go in as cheaply as possible, and you know, sometimes don't go in too cheap. Try not to go too old either, you know, in terms of like trying to find the most archaic mod you can, because like I say, modern mods have got all sorts of little bits of extras. Even the clones, you know, they've got things like venting, etc. built into them that some of the older ones might not have. You know, that one that your mate Jerry offered to you for a $5. There's a reason he offered it to you for a $5. It was crap. I had to watch for the spit there. I kind of felt it warming up. I was like, ooh, scary. So yeah, and obviously you're going to need some cotton and stuff because you're getting into rebuildables. Now I'd have a look around YouTube for a couple of tutorials on how to build a coil. Do a little bit of asking. We've got a Facebook group linked, I don't know, in the description, or I'd magically make something appear if I was a wizard. But yeah. Oh, again, you can ask myself if you think there's something that I haven't covered in this. But my suggestions, first off, go for the kit. Aim for the kit. That way you know everything's going to fit. It's made to match. You know, there's no drama there. Decent pair of batteries, because you're going to need one to use and one to charge. A decent external charger. Whether that be 2-bay or 4-bay, it's up to you. And yeah. Your coils, obviously the ones that come in a box, go for it. They usually come in around 0.2. Don't quote me on that, but it tends to be the general rule of thumb when it comes to Chinese free coils in clone boxes. Or you can pick up a pack of, you know, fantastically made swishy coils. Nice thing about these is they've kind of all got a rating on. Remember, if you are pairing them up, you have to half that value as well. So yeah, something you can check out there. If you're making your own coils, you're going to need some wire. If you are making your own coils and you don't have anything, and this is the first mod you've ever bought in your life, heaven forbid that be the case, you will need an ohm reader though. Cheap as chips, nice and cheerful, couple of AA's, stolen out the remote, should do nicely. And you can check you're not going to blow your face off. And a bit of cotton. For wicking purposes. All the fancy cotton in the world. Guess what? I still bash out with Muji. So, yeah, you know, it's one of those. And again, you know, not that you have to steer clear of them because there's anything wrong with them. There's just drawbacks in terms of maybe, you know, you're going to need to know a little bit more. The Candy Ruby, for example, comes with a built-in dripper, so there's no way of testing that. And again, like I said, The Rig V2 has the roughneck on top, which requires a special adapter to be bought. Other than that, it's, you know, pick something that tickles your fancy, pick something you like the look of, grab yourself a decent pair of batteries, and do yourself a favour, while you're waiting for it all to be delivered to your front door, go and do some reading up on Ohm's law. There's a bazillion videos out there, and they all explain it way better than I can, with fancy graphs and charts, and some people even do it in Spanglish, I'm sure. So you've got no excuse to go check it up, so you don't go blowing yourselves up. But really, don't stress too much about them. People kind of treat them with kid gloves sometimes. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do... Just chill, take your time. Suggested wire maybe for your first build. Why not grab yourself, I don't know, some 24 gauge. That'd do nicely. It's pretty good all-purpose wire, you know. Good few wraps of that and you're dum diddly do. If you want to, maybe grab yourself a coiling kit. It's going to make life easier in the long run. Or just go to Poundland and grab 2 packs of those really cheap jeweler's screwdrivers. That way you've got one for either side of the coils, and they're both the 3mm ones. Jobs are good, and enough spares to put down all the tops. So yeah, that's why I said 2. But oh yeah, look, you know, Mrs.'s nail clippers, pair of scissors from the kitchen, anything like that would do for clipping your cotton. And hey presto, all you need to do is add some juice. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope you guys found it helpful. Like I say, it's a little bit of a turbocharged run through, but I hope it answers the question itself as to which mod or which mechanical mod you should be starting off with. Like I say, there is a ton of scare stories out there on the internet that are going to try and steer you clear of joining the mechanical club. And I wonder if that's just because they want to seem cooler and more overcomplicated than they really are. You know, at the end of the day, it's a simple circuit. Button hits battery, hits boom, job done. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that strawberry cakey goodness. Just can't get enough of it. So yeah, like I say folks, got a couple of other videos coming up. If you want to join in the madness, of course, I'll put my little Snapchat. Do that over there. You can add us up on Snapchat. Trust me, it gets mad during the day. And of course, Facebook group, which is where you'll find loads more folk to chat about. If I haven't explained anything well enough in this video, then by all means get down there and ask them, because 9 times out of 10 they most probably know more than I do. Yeah, that is good stuff. That is really good stuff. But that's just me blowing my own horn. Yeah, so like I say, grab yourself a kit, grab yourself some wire, decent batteries, decent charger. Make sure you've got something to read the resistance on. And while you're waiting for it all to be posted, go check up on Ohm's law. If you wanted to go play with Steam Engine, search Steam Engine vape in Google, and that way it should put it up as the first result. So yeah, and just to be cool, I'll most probably link it somewhere down below as well for you guys. It's a bit of a resource for you to use. So if you've got anyone who's looking at getting or going into mechanicals, or if you're kind of on the borderline, I hope that's cleared up some things for you. They are a lot of fun to use. They can be a little bit of a schlep to use as well. You know, you're taking the bottom off, putting new batteries in, but that's what vaping's about. You know, there's a little bit of fun and tinkering involved. Gets you a lot more hands-on. You know, you get to really understand your vaping, and it becomes a lot more personal. Your build becomes a lot more personal. Your preferences start to show and stuff. So yeah, it can be a whole lot of fun. You can really go to town on a mechanical mod in so many more different ways than you could by banging a tank on top and pressing the up and down button until it's sweet. It's just a lot of fun. It's a totally different side of vaping for you guys to get into, and something I hope you do start with. So yeah, any more questions, of course there is a comment section down below, and you all know how to get hold of me. So until then, let me take one more, because hey, why not? You know, it's the end of the video. Let's celebrate. And yeah, I'm out here. I'm going to go and let's probably edit this to put it up for you all. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope the videos are getting a little bit better. I've included both magical lights today, so hopefully I'm in better quality. Tasty, tasty. So yeah, guys, that is it for today. That's it from myself. and I'll see you around in the next one. Until then, have an awesome time. Look after yourselves and have fun.